All right, question number 5. We want to do the same thing. These are some smaller numbers. This time I want to show you with synthetic division, something that you'll learn in this course, but it's a neat way of solving it by hand, similar to plugging it in each value. So we have, I'm going to write it in order. So we have a negative 5x to the third, and then a positive 3x. Okay, so what synthetic does with the polynomial is it takes the largest degree, which is x to the third. So I'm going to put this out here. And then if we count down numerically until we get to 0, we got a 3. The next number would be 2, and then 1, and then 0. So x to the 0 power is just like a constant. It's just understood to be a 1. But that's what we're doing. So this problem takes 4 terms. When we do synthetic division, we are only focused on the coefficients of these terms. So the number that's in front. So the very first number that we want to plug in is 1. So I'm going to put 1 in what we call this little box, little half box. And then I'm going to list the coefficients. So the first coefficient I have, highest degree, is negative 5. And then the next one should be x squared. I don't have an x squared term, so I have to put a 0 as a placeholder. So every term that's missing, you put a 0. Then the single x, so x to the first power would be this one. So then I will put a positive 3. And then my constant term, which I don't have an x to the 0, I don't have a single number. So I'll just put a 0 here as a placeholder. This is the setup. So once you do this setup, it's basic. You're going to be multiplying and adding or subtracting until we get to the last number. This is going to be our solution. So bring the first number straight down. And then this box number is going to multiply below the line. You write the result here, and then you add or subtract, and you'll repeat. So 1 times negative 5, negative 5. Add these two together, we still get a negative 5. And then 1 times negative 5 is still negative 5. Add, which you'll subtract because they're different signs, we'll get a negative 2. And then 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And we still get negative 2. So my answer for when we plug in 1 is negative 2. And I'll set this up again, and I'll do it for all 4 of them just so you can see the pattern. The next number we're going to do is negative 1. Same setup, negative 5, 0, 3, 0. Bring the first number straight down. Negative 1 times negative 5, positive 5, and positive 5. Negative 1 times negative 5, negative 5. Combine, we get negative 2. Negative 1 times negative 2 gives me a positive 2. Add, and we get a positive 2 here. So positive 1 gives me negative 2. Negative 1 gives me a positive 2. Then we'll also do the same thing with 3 and negative 3. Set up negative 5, 0, 3, 0, and then negative 5, 0, 3, 0. So again, you bring the first term straight down, negative 5, 3 times negative 5, negative 15. Combine, we still got negative 15. 3 times negative 15, negative 45. Combine, and we get a negative 42. And 3 times negative 42, would be a negative 126. Combine, and we have a negative 126. And then over here, same thing, bring the first term straight down. Negative 3, negative 5, positive 15. Add, positive 15. Negative 3, negative 15, negative 45. Combine, negative 42. Negative 3 times negative 42 gives us a positive 126, and we add, we get 126. Okay, so here are the 4 answers. I am going to grab this calculator just to show you and confirm. Same thing. So I'm going to go to y equal. clear out what I have, type the new equation. I'll just type it as is, 3x, not plus, minus 3x minus 5x raised to the third. I'm going to graph it, and then I'm going to hit trace. Trace will allow me to just type in whatever number. So if I type in 1 and hit enter, we can see the y value when we plug in a 1 is -2, which is what we get at the end. If I do -1, we get a +2, which matches here. If we plug in a 3, -126. And if we plug in -3, we get a +126. So you can see that this method works as well. Same as plugging in. I like it. It's really neat just multiplying and add or subtract as you go across. So we get a -2, +2, -126, and a +126.